Am I a tad bit sunburned? I ain't worried about it. I'll talk about US Survivor a little bit before I get into Australian Survivor because I only do like 3 videos on it. I just want to say, overall, I do like season 50. A lot of people are bashing on episode 4. And what? Ah! Stubbed my toe. Wow. Uh, wow, Zach Brown didn't need like that whole boat scene and fishing. I think they could just have him come on shore and like maybe one confessional. I still think the episode was fine, and I think the season's good. I think people are just overreacting, if you will. Anyways, into the actual focus, Australian Survivor. I think we're having a good season so far. I like this season because there's like one clear favorite now. I would say Mark, but there's a lot of people in the mix, and it feels like a more balanced cast as opposed to last season where it kind of felt like the AJ and Miles show. Basically, I've described it before. I'll do a quick rundown. You got a pie, and there's 100% of this pie, and I have to divide these pieces to each of the 13 players left. But that doesn't mean some of them get a slice. It's kind of like that reward challenge they actually did. Some people I'm just giving no slices. They get 0% of the pie. Some people might get as high as like 30 or 50. All 13 players, we just go in order. Well, there is no order. The wheel's the order. Let fate determine the order. Give me Keeley first. Okay, well, we're losing a big slice of the pie off the bat. The thing I like doing with this is not really thinking about it too much and letting it kind of be on the fly. But Mark is one of those people that needs minimum 20. I hate that he's actually the first because I can't really see. There's other people I know I'm giving 0, but there's some people that I'll give 5 or 10. I don't know what it's added up to yet. This is annoying. I'm going to go 33. That might be high. I got to write this down, otherwise I'm going to forget. Mark, 33% of the pie. What reminds me of Mark is players like AJ, King George. Yeah, they didn't win, but they were like a key character of the season, and they went deep, and people would say, we got to get them out this time, and you blink and they're in the Final Four. And I think Mark's could easily go that route because that happens a lot with Australian Survivor. And Mark's also playing a good game. He has an idol now, so there's a world where Mark gets deep, and of course Mark, with the game he's playing so far, he's not going to be a losing finalist. Give me someone I can give 0. I invested a lot early. Brooke. Okay. I don't think Brooke's going to be a first target in the merge. I could still see her going in the first week of the merge, in the first batch of 3 episodes. But I think Brooke is probably safe. It's just like they haven't shown her a lot, and the returning players always get shoved down your throats in these type of seasons. And Brooke is the one that hasn't been. We've seen a lot of Harry when he was in the season. Simon's ramping up now, and Mark has been kind of present throughout. That being said, Brooke, I think, has to get some. One, because she's a solid player, and the merge is where she can really dominate in the challenges. Didn't she win 4 or something? She's not going to be Kaylin and win 6. Almost said it. 7. There was a pause there. But I'll give Brooke. It's hard for me to imagine Brooke winning. But I can't count her out. Sorry. 4%. 4%. I think that's fair, considering how she hasn't been present a lot. I don't think she has a ton of friends. I could see people gunning for her instead of Simon. Okay, this is good. No, go up, up, up. Lottie, I definitely would have to give her some percentage to. Law's not a ton to talk about. She's in the Beauty and Beast Alliance. She's gotten some screen time, but she's definitely one of the characters that isn't being shown a ton. I'm real talk. She's probably gonna be a 0%er. Just looking at the show, I don't imagine her winning. So 0%. I need more zeros still. There's 10 people. Okay, cool, Simon. Now, it feels weird to even think Simon could win, considering what has happened to him the last 2 times he's played Survivor. I mean, you got heroes versus villains. George has wrecked this guy. I think he's done a good job of not over-presenting himself as a returning player. I think that's a mistake Harry made. Once he got the knife stabbed in Paula's back, he kind of just went rogue. He did his little hostage thing. And Simon just kind of let Harry sail off into the sunset with Jackson. Well, and then Jackson swam back to shore, and it was just Harry. But Simon, as a percentage-wise, I can convince myself to give him that mark 33, but then that's like, then I got to give Keeley a very low amount, and Keeley's my winner pick, and like there's bias there. Simon probably will have the third highest amount. There's one other person I might have above Simon, but she's kind of slowed down a little bit. 17%. I need that extra 3. I'm robbing him of going up to 20%. 17%. Ben has been fun to watch in challenges. He had like this last week where he was becoming like Do-Rag Dave or whatever. He was actually pretty funny and I enjoyed him. Realistically though, I just don't think Ben's going to win. So he's going to be a 0. But I don't think he's playing a bad game. Okay, we're at... What are we at? 54? Hold on, let me do the maths. So I can't give Richard any higher than 5%. He was really silent early on, but then the swap, he started getting more screen time. And I can see him lasting a good amount in the merge and getting some focus. And I like him. When him and Mark are talking, it really feels like two guys that wear suits all the time are talking. They have this like laugh that's like, ah! Especially Mark. Mark's laugh is outrageous. But I enjoy Richard. I think he's well insulated. I think he's really safe when the merge happens. He was in a lot of danger in that section, or at least seemed like it, even if Mark and Keeley were protected at times. I could see Keeley maybe not forgiving Richard, but I think she's going to be more pissed off at Mark over anyone because that's a deeper cut for her. I like Richard enough, I will give him 1%. I want him to be on the pie. I think he earns a tiny slice. Launch, I feel like, is probably the person I have the least amount of knowledge of. I don't really have any reason to give Blanche any percentage, and I don't really know her game, so for me, it's like, this is a for sure 0. Stop, I don't want to do this now. 55%. What's good? Okay, so after Keeley, there's going to be 5 people left. Keeley is getting at least 30. Mark has 33. It would be disrespectful for me to give my winner pick less than Mark. Minimum, we're hitting 33. And I do have faith in Keeley. Keeley is going into the merge in what appears to be a bad spot. But, hear me out. Faith is gone. That makes Keeley less threatening. What she, I think, needs to do is distance herself more from Mark. Unless Mark is really able to insulate them both in a majority alliance, I think Keeley needs to further establish relation. I think build that bridge with Sally, build that bridge with Richard, and that can work for Keeley. Even a Caleb, like establish all those bonds stronger from original, or not original tribe, the tribe swap group, and then go back to people like the Bens, those sort of people. It's obviously rough losing Faith right before the merge, because I think in a merge situation, Faith would always be a target over Keeley. But sometimes just not having that attention in general can be a good thing. And who am I to doubt the silent assassin Keeley? I believe in Keeley. Let me think. If I do 35, there's 10% left for Cameron, Lottie, Jackson. Oh. See, I kind of rate some of these people. 34. I need to go higher than Mark. I've always liked Sally, but they don't show her a ton. Her story's very inspirational with her brother's passing and all that. Sally's someone I'm obviously rooting for. And while I would have preferred her to go over Faith because Faith was great TV, I'm not like upset that Sally stayed because I still enjoy Sally a lot too. Percentage-wise, it more just comes down to the people around her. Some of these people I want to give a good share to, though. So I got to give Sally that Richard 1. If there was more than 11%, I would go higher than Richard, but I done shot myself in the foot. Earlier on, I would say Lottie was a favorite in my mind. I don't really do like Edgic or any of that shit. Lottie in like the first 2 weeks I thought was getting a big focus and like showed to be a dominating force. And then lately it kind of feels like that shifted to Simon. 7%. I'm going to go 7%. She should be a lot higher. I think like she's in more of my favorite tier. She should be double digits, but her name just came up late and I done blew up all the pie slices. So Lottie gets 7%. I think she's a very interesting personality. I think she's going to have a great merge, or her ass is going to get taken out in a big move. But Lottie will be present and continue to like. I think her and Simon's relationship is going to hit a tipping point, and whoever wins that is going to go deep. There's one guy I've been waiting to hit so I can just get out of the way. This is the guy. I like Cameron. I think Cameron is very fun, and I like him and Asia's spirit. Like when they were getting blindsided, they were like laughing about it, and they were just appreciating the move. So, and Cameron and Asia, I always enjoyed their conversations. And Cameron did seem to be in a good spot. I don't think that edit gives him enough credit for how much game he's playing. I think Asia took a lot of that, and Asia probably was like the leader of that group, but I think Cameron also was playing a great game. Unfortunately, he's one of those people that like I just don't believe he's going to win because of how much screen time he's had. We got to get to the other two. They're the two I saved the 3% for. Cameron was always going to be a 0 for me, but I think he's a 0 that has a lot of game. It's actually kind of funny that it ends up being these two because they've been beefing the whole season. We'll do Jackson first. I rate Jackson more than Caleb. I like Jackson more than Caleb. Caleb, to me, he's warming up to me, but I'm still, like, I see some people thinking Caleb can win the game, and I'm kind of like, the guy who's doing this when someone's begging to not be voted out, the guy who's walking in parroting Dirty Harry, I can see Caleb going far, and he has gotten a lot of screen time, and maybe in that way, he could win because Miles was definitely over the top and got bashed a little bit, and he ended up winning. But I kind of look at if Caleb wins, like, what the hell are they vote? What is the criteria that Caleb won the game? Like, what is the jury voting for? Who the hell in the merge is going to side with Caleb over Jackson? And I think Jackson's going to want Caleb out, and a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, I'm cool with that. But because a lot of people have been saying Caleb has a chance, I am inclined to give him a percent. But if I'm going with my heart, even if he's got a good amount of screen time, it's hard for, like, it's just, he's so over the top and kind of, he's warming up to me, but he's coming off cringy, man. And I don't think the jury wants to vote for cringe. I think Caleb's going to be a character. I just don't see Caleb winning. And Caleb is fun. I don't want to say, like, I don't like Caleb. I like characters that cause people to kind of be annoyed. Those are what you want in this game. Like, I like that Caleb and Jackson are beefing and they both made the merge. That's a good thing. But percentage-wise, I'm going to go 0% Caleb, 3% Jackson. So, yeah, that's it. We will see how accurate this ends up being in, like, I don't know when the season ends. It goes like 24 episodes. About a month from now. With Australian Survivor, I don't find their before the season starts stuff interesting enough for me to like make a full video of who I think can win and all that because they just don't give me a lot of information. Keeley was my winner pick. They didn't even tell me her last name. I didn't know her last name. So like the only reason I really didn't want to pick Keeley because it's like, is she really gonna win if they won't even say her last name? I think it should be a fun merge. We'll just have to see what ends up happening. Goodbye.